Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, we got a freezing issue here. Y'all hear me? Okay. Let me get this thing off here. What do I got going on here? Okay. Okay, why can't they hear me? What am I doing here? I need to get my muted, mic is unmuted. Layout, settings, audio. Okay, my audio seems to be working. What is the problem? Layout. Nope, don't need that. Camera. Okay. Well, guys, I'm trying to figure out how to get my avatar up. I don't know what's going on. I need to take that thing off the front. What overlay do I have on right now? Okay. How about now? You guys can hear me now, right? Yeah, there was an overlay stuck on there. Sorry about that. It was really weird. I was like, what the hell is this? I was trying to get some kind of background going on, but I give up. Anyway, so I am brewing some coffee, y'all, because it is cold here. It's really cold. And Bigfoot went up to get some smokes for me, which I don't need at all, but nevertheless, how's everybody's Halloween going? I've not always been a big fan of Halloween. I mean, I like the colors because I love orange, and I like some of the funny things that people talk about or the crazy things you see on Halloween. But yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to share some stories, and I was trying to ask my husband before I started about anything that he ever experienced, and I mean, he was telling me about something at a haunted house, but to me, it didn't seem like, I don't know. It wouldn't be scary to me, but anyway, I told him I to think about different ones. So it doesn't have to be like as an adult, but like even like when you're younger, or like if you really think hard, you'll come up with one. And it doesn't have to be scary. It can be like a funny story or a funny Halloween party you went to, and or some kind of craziest costumes you've ever seen. So I've like, as I was talking to him about it, I was bringing back some of my own memories of different Halloweens and that. So yeah. No, but yeah, I'm trying to make some more coffee. I don't need any more. It's late, but I am cold, so I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna make it happen. But yeah, so I don't know about y'all, but I'm freezing. I've been freezing to death. I swear to you, ever since I got home. My first day home after the trip, it wasn't too cold out. I mean, it was like 50s. It wasn't terrible, but it was definitely colder than what I was used to. And then the second day I was home, they were fixing the water in the area and had the water off all damn day. And I wanted to do my laundry and, the stuff you do when you get back from a trip. So that was really disappointing. And I eventually got to it. And then because we had to take down my cool little outdoor haven out there, when we did that, we literally had to take all those curtains down. So when I got home, I had a lot of stuff to wash. I had to wash my husband's clothes from the week that I was gone. And then mine, and then all those outdoor curtains. So I had finally got all that caught up. And then, wouldn't you know it, with my damn luck, because in July, when they were doing some heart tests and stuff just to make sure everything was good, they postponed some of my other tests for my stomach issues. And not even a week after I was back, I had to get that done, and that was this past Tuesday. I had to go up and get the endoscopy and all that fun older person stuff that they do to us when we're older. Anyway, and so that was no fun at all. And so I felt like ever since I've been back from the trip, it's just been torture. I've been freezing to death. I'm absolutely going stir crazy because all I did was walk the entire time I was on the trip, all over the place, airports, through ship, on islands, on piers. You're just walking all the time, and I loved it, and I liked it, and I've just been going stir crazy at home. So I got to get myself started on some projects so can get some movement going here. There's only so many places you can walk around here, I'll tell you. But I really love being on the ocean. That's all I have to say. And the gravity on the ocean, on the water, is so much different for somebody that's in a lot of pain all the time with a lot of injuries and arthritis. The difference is like night and day for me compared to being on land. I've really noticed it now, this being my second cruise, how much different it's like, because I don't know how in the hell I'm walking like I'm doing, going upstairs. We're like, at one point, we ran down 13 flights of stairs, and then that same day later, when we got back, because of the stupid elevators and slow people, we just decided to try our best to get up and down the stairs. We went up 8 flights and finally found an elevator, and we were on the 16th floor, 16th deck, I mean, and that was wild and crazy. So, but then we found some, like, from some other people, like some elevator tricks and stuff of how you like can get up to your floor without having to like stop at every floor. And so no wonder like some of those just keep going when you're waiting. So we figured that out, but that was interesting. I don't know how I did all that. And that was after a day of being out on an island and, doing all those activities. So that was interesting. And believe me, as soon as I got back here, I didn't want to be back here. I was like, I want to go back, back to the water. I can't describe to you how absolutely serene it is just being on this massive ship floating across this massive body of water with the moonlight cresting across the ocean. It's beautiful. The sound of the water. Now, on the 16th deck, you're up there, 17th deck, pretty high. It seems like it's way down there. But when I would go down even to the 8th deck, there was a smoking area off the 8th deck, and I remember sitting there on the side of the ship, on the table right next to the side, and looking down and feeling like the water was literally right there, but we were on the 8th deck. So it's really the illusion, the way that it looks is so wild. Yeah. Wow, that really brewed that whole pot that fast. Wow. My husband's like, I'm going to go get some coffee. I'm like, why? I literally got some. I had just cleaned it out. And then I just went ahead and filled her back up. I figured you were jet lag. Yeah. Yeah, no, I literally just, I don't know. No, I didn't really feel that way, but I definitely preferred being on the boat over being on land for sure. It's such a different feeling. Um, it feels like it's less stress on my body somehow. But we had a really good time. Um, we were on a horrifically tight budget, but there's so many fun things to do that you know already included with the cruise. And other than not being able to get like a million little knickknacks on every place you stop, I'm more interested in the culture and checking out the like what's there and getting videos and photos of it more than buying like a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? Especially since like, you know, if you've packed your stuff exactly what fits and what's allowed on the plane without extra money, because I'm cheap, uh, I ain't trying to get more. But there's always tricks. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be mailing stuff like if you're out of country, you're going to be able to mail stuff. What they do is you buy stuff on the islands, you bring it back in. If it's like alcohol, anything else doesn't matter, but alcohol or any kind of things like that, they hold on to it. And then when you get back to port, then they give everybody their stuff they purchased so that they drink it off the ship. But they have to pay like fees on it, what they bring back. I don't want to pay a bunch of damn fees. Besides, I'm usually going back and having to leave on the plane the next day. So I don't have, you know, I'm not going to be. I'd want to bring something back like that that's unique. Some of those neat tequila bottles I saw were so cool, but how would I even do it, you know? Because you can't take anything like that on the plane. So I'd literally have to bring it back to like Galveston and then I'd have to mail it to myself and hope it didn't get broke. So there you go. Sounds like really complicated, right? So that's why I never worried about that. But I'm going to have to put my. Hi, Leanie. How are you? I'm going to try to post this doggone thing. I always try to figure it out. Um, there we go. We're going to put that up there in case anybody wants to join me. I'm going to get my husband in here, but I think I'm just going to have him like sit by me and like he's got some crazy freaking uh, mask, some crazy Halloween thing. He's going to show everybody. But yeah. Girl, I am so tired too. I'm telling you, I've been so exhausted because my energy level was like on peak when I was going every day. Where you know you're going off the boat, you're on the boat, you're just going all the time, you know. And I got home, and I mean, other than being busy, just doing the regular shit here, there's nowhere near as much walking that I'm doing in this house or going places. It's not like the boat, so I kind of felt like I was better doing more than less that walking and like here. I'm not doing as much of that. And it's cold as fuck, so I don't even want to because I'm so cold. But at the same time, I want to be out walking somewhere. And so it just sucks. I hate Iowa. Yeah. I guess if winter didn't get any cooler than it is right now, which I think we're going to have a few more days in the 60s coming up, but we're running out of days when we can get outdoor stuff done. And my husband has literally procrastinated through the whole season, and I'm like ready to wring his neck. I'm like, you don't get to go on the next trip with me, which we're supposed to be going on one eventually together, but it never works out for our anniversary because it's in November, which you know is tomorrow. Um, but it's like the middle of the month. Last year, I wanted to do the Cancun thing. We didn't. We couldn't do it. I mean, we could have, but he just, you know, his job was. He'd been there maybe 5 or 6 months, but he hadn't gotten any vacation yet, and yeah. So we just decided not to. We wanted to extend it, so we did. But I told him, I said, dude, now you're still looking for work other than side jobs, and we only have to like February to use this trip, this all inclusive trip that we got a long time ago. So I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna do this, dude. Yeah, because not only do we need to like the trip is basically paid for, but your airline tickets, but we still have to both get a passport. We have real IDs, but we don't have a passport. So yeah, I have to go do that. So we'll have to be doing them one at a time. Like, because I think it's 135 or one somewhere in that range, 135 to 150 or somewhere in that range, and we'll have to literally do, unless we yeah, make his ass pay for his damn own. Because fuck, man, it's crazy. I've been doing like a lot of extra custom stuff for people, a lot of build-ins and stuff like lately. Well, a little bit before I left, but not since I've been back yet. I got some projects I have to work on, but to make a little extra money because he's been not getting the amount of work he used to, and his regular job he's been laid off from for too long. And I told him, I said, man, there's a new casino they're building right out here by our river down here. I said, get your ass over there and walk up on there, man, see what they got. They still got a lot of construction to go, and he's got tons of experience. So I told him to do that or just go online to their website. But yeah, so that's interesting because for 25 years they've been trying to get a casino in our city, but they've got them everywhere else, like all around, but not here, right? And they just never would do it. And well, I guess if somebody finally tipped the scale a little. 39 degrees, Mary Jane. Oh my gosh. Um, I definitely know it's been getting down to that, but I can honestly say that um, I was so acclimated to the 80s and 90s, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? It was so warm everywhere we went, but I was used to it because it was just cooling down a bit right before I left here. Our last like warm day was like 88, and it was, of course, it's never that warm that late in the season, but our season's screwed up. But it was amazing, you guys. I'm telling you, because I was already acclimated to the heat. This is like my first like summer. I was outside from like April through just recently, okay? Every day outside gardening, working on the yard. Got a hell of a tan, which I never get tan. So it was kind of nice because I was going on a trip and I didn't have to go pay for a tan. I already had one. And I got more of one, of course, while I was out there. Now, of course, I'll lose it because I'm in this stupid cold weather. But I've been daydreaming and night dreaming about going out west. I'm missing um Arizona and Nevada area where I like to go and be out in the mountains. I'm really missing that. It's calling my name. I don't know. Like, I mean, I theoretically, since he's not like full time on a permanent job right now and doing side jobs, we have a little more leeway. But then again, when a person doesn't have the same amount of income they normally do, kind of hard to go traveling, right? So there's that. But I know he could go out there and get all sorts of construction jobs and carpentry jobs because whenever we've been out there and kind of like, when we kind of decided it would be a nice place to go and live in the winter and at least try it out, um, we talked to different drivers and people we met over the years of visiting. And, that was one of the like things that we would always hear is that they didn't have very good carpenters or people to do like good work around there. And like this was like on the Bullhead City side of Arizona, but either way, like, I mean, yeah, I was like, dude, you could probably do, go out there and make better money than here, even, you know. Although it's a little different because their houses are a little bit different, but hey, why not? You need the experience, right? You build them here. The only difference is like your environment and basically your temperatures year round. So, I mean, I'm sure he could totally figure out those houses out there and what needs done with them. I want to build a little nice little Spanish type uh, design, little house type thing, cottage or something. But I like the arches and I like the span. This I just love that culture, the designs, the tiles, the bright colors, the vivid, deep warm colors are really just so pretty, and I love them. I sure do. My husband better get himself. I tried to send him off before I got on here. on an errand, and he takes a really long time to get from the kitchen to the door. I'm just saying. And he's very young still, so I don't understand. I think Miss Bailey is cleaning her kitchen. So while we were waiting, um, think of some stuff that you guys would like to share, and even if you don't want to come up on the panel, you're more than welcome to share it in the chat. Any kind of interesting Halloween stories you have, anything. Um, I've got a couple that I'll share here shortly, but I'd really like to hear from you guys first. If I sound like I'm moving, I am. I'm dashing back and forth in the kitchen, trying to coffee rolling here. Oh, that's warm. Yeah, so I suppose I should be nice and make Bigfoot coffee. Would you like a Bigfoot coffee? What does that consist of? A very deep roast, very heavy. Okay. All I gotta say is if you guys have never tried a non-dairy creamer, much better for you. And I almost didn't know, but I was looking for something that was, and I found a creamy coconut by Coffee Mate, and it's non-dairy. So for people that have sensitive stomachs or whatever, but this stuff is so good. It really is. And I do 1 teaspoon of organic extra virgin coconut oil per day in my coffee, and adding this dash of this creamer, it's just a very tasty drink, y'all. So that looks really, really super hot. But yeah, it was so funny because last year, I think it was September. Yeah, September when I went and see my doctor last. And of course, they do the whole weigh you and check to see if you've shrunk or anything type shit, right? And I remember telling her that I had lost, I was excited because the nurse had weighed me and I lost more than I thought I did. And I was really excited about it. And the lady, my doctor asked me, she said, what have you been doing? Other than obviously working outside all summer, gardening, moving around, and being way more active than I ever have been for a long time. That was really all I was really doing that was different. That was it. And then I told her, and then 1 teaspoon of coconut oil in my coffee every morning. And I told her I've done that consistently, like every day since I want to say beginning or end of May. And it really did make a difference. I'm sure that being outside and exercising and sweating your ass off all summer long counts for some weight loss, but I really think the coconut oil helps because it really helps balance your hormones and helps with inflammation and all sorts of stuff. So it's good for the inside and the outside of your body. It's one of those, twofer type deals. Everybody get you a beverage and get something warm to drink because it sounds like it's pretty chilly for all of us right now. And let's drink some warm coffee and come up and remember some wonderful stories that you may have to share. I'm sorry you're tired, Leanie. I know you probably have some crazy story. You've always told us all sorts of wild stories. You should share one, even if it's just something simple one. I'm sure you got something crazy that's happened on Halloween. I mean, if you think back to your own childhood and then you think about your kids, grandkids, I mean, there's always something, or even just random people and things you've seen, you know what I mean? I miss going to haunted houses. The college kids downtown used to do one every year in the old brick building. Yes. Do you know that the funniest thing about it is I had never gone to a haunted house, y'all, my whole life. I think we did haunted hayrack rides and shit uh, as teenagers. Maybe I remember something like that at one of my friends' like grandpa's farm or something. But as far as like, I never wanted to go. because I don't like anything about being scared, and that shit pisses me off, right? So I'm like, I don't want to go and do that. Um, but my best friend convinced me finally one day years ago to do it, to go with her. And I was like, I really wasn't for it. And I definitely wasn't, I didn't want to pay for it either because I just couldn't understand the paying the amount of money that they charge literally for people to get into those just to see how fucking scared somebody can make you. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't process it, the reasoning for me to do it. So Mary Jane does this for a few years when I was younger, early 20s, dress up as a slutty, this or that, right? Right? So we go there and we smoke before we go in. So there's the first thing we did. Because, everybody's celebrating on Halloween, whatever. So we go, and this thing's near the police station, which is weird to begin with. And it's a big 3-story type old building, like you kind of described, an old brick type building. And we go there, pay to get in. And before we even got in this building, y'all, we're just going across this like bridge like thingy. Some dude's down, like coming up off of the underneath that shit or whatever. Well, first of all, the first thing I did, this is because me getting scared, and like I said, it pisses me off. I almost kicked this dude in the head because it scared me so bad, okay? First of all, that was the first thing that happened before we even got inside. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not gonna go good. I told my girlfriend, I said, you better be ready because I'm telling you. So we get in there and we're walking along and I'm holding on to her like as tight as I can, like I'm gonna fall off the edge of a cliff, right? And we're going along, and I'm thinking this is stupid. Okay, this is not scaring me. Like this is just weird, right? You'd see people, but everybody was like, I don't know. It's kind of like because you already know what to expect. You already know it's all fake, right? So that's what kind of messed me up with the whole experience. But here's the bad thing. All right, we've all watched or not the Chainsaw Massacre movies and the Texas crap and all that, right? We've all done it. And I'll tell you what, we're going along. I wasn't doing too bad. I'm still squeezing her pretty good. And then this stupid ass comes out of the side of this space that's like open, but it didn't look open until you walked up by it. And the thing that, okay, let me say it this way. The thing that was weird is that people were going through in groups. And so sometimes something would happen ahead of you. You'd already kind of hear something going on with other people, right? So that was weird too. So it wasn't quite as shocking, right? But this dumb ass dude comes out with some chainsaw, y'all, and I was like, that it was over. When he came out with that, I punched him in the face. I'm sorry, but it scared the shit out of me because I was walking along, you didn't even see anything there. And then he comes out with that motherfucker, and that's all I could see was that movie with that dude and that chainsaw. I was like, oh my God. And then I ran. So I punched the dude and I run because I'm running from the chainsaw situation, okay? Because I'm scared. This just happened really fast. My girlfriend, like, what in the fuck? I'm running and screaming, right? Which actually entertained quite a few people, just to let you know, like on the way to the end, we were almost towards the end of this place, right? At the end of this place, they have this stupid thing set up. It looks like a jail or like this fenced in thing, right? But look, y'all, I felt terrible, but man, that's exactly two people. I'm lucky didn't go to jail. The fucking police station was right there because I'm beating the hell out of people going through this fucking. I told her I shouldn't have gone in there. I knew it, but so that was my one and only time. I told her I was never doing that again because I didn't want to waste my money, and I was irritated because I mean, like unless you went through it by yourself, I could see myself just running through it faster. Is all if people wouldn't have been in my way. Okay, upset about that. So. Yeah, Wild Angel not good in haunted house. All right. Anyway, so anybody ever have a weird experience like that where something on Halloween or somebody scared you and your reaction was to like I don't know, Save yourself. Did you go find your thingy? I was telling them about your facey, your masky thing. Why are you laughing strangely in your chair? Well, you just came in from the outdoors and you didn't even bring your fuzzy face mask or whatever the hell you got going on. He's up to something. You should have got a Sasquatch uniform. I said uniform. Costume. Oh, shit. I think they can be up to 9 foot tall, you guys. You know, the real Sasquatch. I told my husband, I said, you might be his cousin, but you shorter. Excuse me. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, so I don't know. That was just like something really bizarre. And I still like literally haven't never gone anywhere like that again because yeah. And I don't think she'd ever want to go with me again either. Because that was pretty wild. I suffocated in a bubble room at the end of a haunted house. It was awful. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. That chainsaw just got me because of the whole fact was because I mean, think about it. Like, if you've seen those movies, you know what I mean? It was something I wasn't expecting there. Okay, I guess I should put it that way. Nor was I expecting before we even got into this haunted house to have something like coming out from underneath where we're walking. I mean, like, you know what I mean? And I didn't even know if I wanted to go in after that event because I already felt bad enough because, you know, sorry, dude, but you literally came up the wrong way at the wrong time. That's all I got to say to him. Y'all are funny, I'm telling you. God, y'all, I keep fucking getting the same thing out and putting it out, and then I have to keep putting it back because it's already there. I'll be alright. It's Halloween, Hallow's Eve, and I've had a little to smoke, but not none to drink. Only a coffee by my side with coconut close to my eye. And yes, that was weird, but hey, we're having fun, aren't we? We're celebrating. I tried to, at least I got my colors at the bottom orange. I had to get it off the old tropical island color. I'm like, oh, we gotta change up some stuff. And every time I try to change up something, something gets weird when I get started up. So I gotta figure it out. Part of the problem was sometimes those, some of the intros, they will stop, but they freeze your screen. Where the ones that I actually had made for intros don't do that. So who knows, right? I hope it's a deer. Crunching in the woods, they're coming to get you, Becca. I've sent my deer drone to harass you in your yard. Oh, God. Don't get the dogs started or they'll never stop barking. It's Bigfoot. Yes. And I'm waiting for him to find the top to his head. I mean, the mask for his head. He's going to scare us. Oh, I'm not even going to tell that story because it's not about me, but it's something I saw on TV a long time ago. It was awful, but it has to do with the scary mask. But we'll just skip that one because this is disturbing. All right, let me get my camera, which I believe is facing back. Oh, hold on.
You can't even see it.
Oh, shit. Yeah, well, if I could adjust the light properly.
Weird.
Come closer. You can't, yeah, you can barely see out of it, eh?
Right.
So it's kind of a Skeletor type thing, y'all.
Those are big rocks.
It's Bigfoot like this. Okay, he said he can't handle it anymore. He's got to get it off his face, y'all. No, I'm just being silly. But anyway, uh, it's okay. It'll be all right, right? Everything is gonna be all right. Yeah, Becca says hi, twin. I don't know. If we had younger ones here, then I would definitely have them like hand out candy and do the whole candy thing. Oh God, Becca's so funny. She's doing twin Where Have You Been? That song she made up. Oh, here we go. We got another one. Okay, you guys ready for this one? Now this one kind of reminds me of a certain character on a certain show. So this one's just a darker face, eh? Oh no, it's a whole different. It's got little, yeah, like the, you know what? It looks like that one guy in the with that Marvel, that group of people that I don't know what his name is.
Which one?
That one's got devil horns. That's what I was trying to say. Devil horns on. Devil horns on. I just sang it to Bigfoot daily. Yeah, you do. It's so funny. Oh, MG guys. I have a question. I'm sure one of y'all girls in the chat can answer. So if I go on my laptop, which I need to be using sometimes, at least when I'm not traveling and doing a live, because you got more of a screen, you'll have like your messages on one side and then like your panel screen. But if you're gonna share something to your screen, like on, to show, like if I wanted to do a slideshow with you guys, is there a way to do that? Does it have to be on a laptop or can I do it on here? Like, screen share. I don't think I can do it on the phone. I think with the StreamYard you have to do it on a computer. Daredevil, yeah, I think you're right. I'm trying to think of that big bulky dude he has all the horns and the weird shit. I don't know what the fuck his name is. There's so many weird characters nowadays. What is it called?
Well, the red guy.
Hellboy. Is that what you said?
He's got one.
Yeah, no. But I don't know. Is that
this one? I don't.
I don't know why. I don't know. They're weird masks. Oh, she's devil. She's a bad little bitch. She's a rebel. Yeah, one song. She's always singing. Today we had a treat on our call. Hi, Donna Clark. How are you, hon? I love you too, sweetie. So what the hell was I gonna say? Oh, so our good friend Beachy, she plays guitar and sings, and she's a lovely person. And today, when she answered our video call, she answered playing the guitar and singing already. And it was so funny. I said, "See, I knew you were hiding your guitar from us." It was so funny, but it was great. It was great. We used to do that to like calm everybody's nerves and like everybody be having a stressful day. So she'd get out and play the guitar and we'd all make up songs. It was fun. It was like being young again. The crazy shit we used to do. But it was entertaining. Anyway. So yeah, you probably, if you're in the bushes, you probably heard my crazy story about the haunted house. Yeah, I'm trying to see if anybody wants to pop up on the panel, and you don't have to like cam up or anything if you don't want. As you can see, I don't always do that. I care to do it more when I'm like on location and can be showing people actual live footage, because that's more exciting than just staring at somebody, right? And Leanie owns the stove photo of the kitchen, so that's her her back set on hers. So mine this summer was my outdoors and fountains. So we all have something that we like to have in the camera, right? More than ourselves, mostly, right? But if you've seen me on the islands, and at the time that we were actually doing this whole dance thing, and this whole pier running thing, this like excitement that broke out. Yeah, I miss her too. I want her to come and play sometime if I can get her on here. She goes to bed a lot earlier than she used to. We used to all stay up late and stay on calls real late. Everybody's lives change. Like the world just keeps changing things. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's like overwhelmed, and I don't know. It's crazy, but it wears you out. We're all always tired or in pain. There's always something going on. But yeah, no, I wasn't sure. I just thought, well, we'll see if anybody wants to come up and hang out and tell a funny story about anything. It could be a funny moment, a scary moment. It could be any of it, whatever you got. Um, I was asking Bigfoot about his if he had any earlier. Um, and he told me a weird story about the same exact haunted house I was talking about, which was ironic, and what was at the end of it, which really wasn't scary at all. It was kind of lame. So I don't know. It wasn't that well thought out, and I'm sure the guy that held the chainsaw wished he'd never taken that position after that day. I can't have been the only one that thought he was a threat. I know you're always driving. I'm hoping that it be a little bit less of that as time goes on and things get adjusted, right? And then of course Christmas break will come up and you won't have to go as much to the school, Leo. All right. I don't know, you guys. And then the day that I got off the cruise, I literally got a text about, I don't know if it's Jimmy Buffett or what he said, owns the Margaritaville cruise lines, and they have a new ship, and they wanted to give me complimentary cruise. And I was like, okay, so I thought I'd call and at least inquire. Well, the deal was it was $396, and that's your taxes and port fees, which is a little bit more than I pay when I go on the Carnival ones through my casino. And then of course you have to get there, and so they go out of the port of Tampa in Florida, so that's a little bit further than Texas for flights. But I thought, well, and of course, you have to lock in that price, so they want you to pay that amount that the day you call. And I just told them that I didn't have, you know, I need you to take a trip right now. You have up to 18 months to take the cruise. I said, well, that's fine, but I don't have that amount of money today, so I just wanted to inquire on it. So that was that story. I figured it was worth it, at least to hear what they had to say. That way I could compare the price to what I normally pay, which I think on the Carnival one, on the complimentary one, it was $270 for two people, which is really not bad at all. And then our tickets, it was all under 1,000, two tickets, and then the to get onto the boat. So it was really not too bad. We did pretty good. We were budgeted, but we just made the best of it. We had a lot of fun. The Mexican culture was definitely very, very fascinating for me. I was very interested in it. Oh boy. My husband likes to show me weird reels, but won't get on the gosh darn get in the chat like a big boy. Get in the chat, boy. He likes the reels. I'm gonna start making more. I used to make a whole bunch of Facebook reels. I love doing it. It was so much fun. I haven't done it in a while. I'm gonna have to do that with some of my new pictures. But I'm gonna have to make him up some so he has something to look at. But yeah, people do post some pretty crazy shit, that's for sure. You know? Remember when the bloopers were something you watched on TV and you could laugh about it because holy shit, people do some fucked up shit, right? And catch it on camera. So, Becca, why don't you share with us one of your crazy, some kind of wild Halloween story? I'm sure you've got some good ones. I did post the StreamYard link, but it was a ways back. I could repost it if you'd like to join me for a moment. I know it's getting close to your bedtime, dear, but it is the weekend. It's Friday, right? Tomorrow is Saturday. Wow. Or in an hour, right? Unbelievable. Time flies. It's been going by really fast since I've been back, and all I want to do is go back to the ocean. It's pretty wild, you guys. I wish it wasn't so cold because it's still really pretty outside with the lights. No, the fountains have been a little trickier to get because the sunlight is definitely different this time of the year. So some of them I'm having to take out and let them sit directly in the sun because the sun really isn't hitting the pool fountain very well anymore. So I've been doing that. But we're slowly breaking, pretty much got everything broke down. We've got 3 planters, um, the grow bags, and a couple buckets that we need to clean out and dry out and put away. But we're almost there, so. And furniture and stuff. We have a bunch of shit to move to storage for the winter. Fun, fun. And believe it or not, fall harvest, I'm still growing carrots and lettuce back in my raised bed because, well, first of all, it's basically nice and closed in. It's got a liner in it and it's got a lot of dirt, so it's really well insulated in there. And on the one end where the carrot plants are, they're really tall. On the other end where the lettuces are starting to come up, they're still kind of small. I put plastic over them and kind of do the greenhouse effect. It kind of protects them, keeps them warmer. The sun warms it during the day and then keeps it warmer at night when it's cooler. So, but those were some things you could plant in the fall. And I had already done it before I knew. And when me and my daughter first planted this stuff, it was like towards the end of summer, but they didn't come up right away. They were taking a long time. And I don't know, I think it rained like 3 or 4 days after we planted and it moved the seeds around, but they didn't all come up and then eventually they did, but it wasn't until after I put plastic over and greenhoused them and locked in that heat that they finally bloomed. So the lettuce grows above the dirt and the carrots grow under. So we have an under and over going on. Hundreds of people, and it's awesome. So it's like what you've seen. Oh, really? You figured out your sea legs earlier. You could have been working on one of the ships when you were younger. Oh, I know, right? I wouldn't have had as many children, I'm sure, if I would have been on there too, Mary Jane Doe. But I'm happy to have sea legs now. I definitely like it. The boat. I like being able to, like, when you're laying in your cabin and they have the cameras and you can watch the front of the ship and, watch the ocean right in front of you. It's very amazing. And then it also has a camera in the Lido deck, which is the main deck with the big pool and all this stuff. So you can see what's going on all the time. It's really quite amazing. And it tells you where we're at. It shows a map all the time. Shows you our destination, how many knots we're going, the temperature, the humidity. It's everything, and it's all on your screen. It's really cool. And this time was nice because my last cruise was a little bit older ship. This one, at least, I had a nice fridge in there, which was nice because there was sometimes my daughter's obsessed with milk, so we were always bringing milk cartons and stuff back from the buffet area, or like cookies or snacks or whatever, and put them in the fridge. So that was fun. We just moved out of the country, but yeah, out in the country and scared shitless. Not just kidding. There's things out in the woods coming to get you. Hey, so one of you girls, you got any really scary stories, or what is the coolest costume you've ever worn on Halloween? What's like your favorite thing you've ever dressed up for on Halloween? Because it's been like a weird that I've spent most of my life taking kids and doing Halloween with them. Whereas once you're an adult, like a lot of people, maybe ones with kids or not kids, will have Halloween parties they go to or whatever. Never been to one, right? That I know of. So one year, a bunch of us moms from Head Start, our kids all went to Head Start together. We decided we were going to go. They had a Halloween costume party in contest, right? It was really fun. and a whole bunch of our friends went, and some of the husbands got together and they like made costumes. Now, my idea for a costume and or a really neat skit for I knew if we could have got made this work, we could have won this contest, I promise you. But I wanted to do a genie in a bottle. I just couldn't get anybody to help me figure out how to build the bottle piece, right? And then be dressed like a genie inside, right? And then play the music that goes with it, right? I thought it would be so cool for a costume, like for a whole skit. Well, this one dude came in as a bloody pad, and I'm not even lying when I say they really worked hard to make that look like what it was. And this other dude came in as I think he was a dick and balls. Sorry, my language. Private part. It was really weird. It was just strange. It was so strange, y'all. I was just like, it's interesting to see the things people come up with for costumes. So let me just say that I had no costumes. I had young kids. I did not have money to go buy anything like that. So I'm trying to sit here and figure out what I can come up with. Okay, so I get in my closet and I realize that the only thing I could come up with is I could be a leopard because I had satin leopard print pajamas. And I got this idea to make myself a cat. So my daughter had ended up having this costume where her little ears to it were leopard ears. So I borrowed those, and my husband like drew whiskers on my face and all that. And then I took an old leopard print bra and some socks, and he made a tail for me, right? And then I had slippers and everything, so I just looked like a leopard, right? So that's all I could come up with. And I mean, I wasn't gonna enter the contest or anything. I knew I wasn't gonna win, but I wanted to at least fit into the situation best I could. We just had the time of our life. I remember being out there. We were dancing. I'm swinging my cat tail behind me and swatting my friends with it. It was just so funny. We had such a great time, and so that's the only time I ever dressed up for Halloween as an adult and went to like a party. So I don't know. It was nasty, Mary Jane Doe. It was so weird. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if they just came up, men, these guys, oh my gosh, the shit they had come up with. And I'm trying to remember who won. I honestly want to say it was one of those two. I'm probably the pad one. I can't remember, but they based like their decision off of multiple things. And then I think you like won a certain amount of cash or money, credit at the bar or whatever. It wasn't anything great, but it was fun. Well, except for the part where I was sitting at the table across from the couple who her husband was the one who had the big things underneath him, and realized that I thought, what the fuck? I thought somebody's like bag or purse was down under the table and fallen like over by my foot, but it was his costume, y'all, that was under the table, irritating other people on the other side. Let's just say. I know, I know, it's weird. So, Mary Jane Doe, you're up. What was one of your favorite costumes you ever, I guess, dressed out in? I mean, if you can remember as a kid, that's fine. Otherwise, an adult, however you do it. I mean, I know some people at their jobs will do the whole Halloween, and the one time a year that everybody you go through a drive through or somewhere and people look like different things, right? Kind of interesting. Into a drag show. Yes, I have. And they're very interesting. That's all I have to say. Very interesting. So I don't see your twin in the chat yet because he's still stuck on some weird reel over there. You guys, I don't know. Um, I just think about like if I lived somewhere warmer, where they have Halloween, it would be nice, like costume wise, for kids to be able to dress and have more available costumes in the states where it's a lot warmer at Halloween times. The way I look at that, I know, right? He was driving with it though. You took that picture, was that just for that? Because aren't how was he able to see? Just, right? See, Mary Jane Doe. That's what I. That's where I'm at with it. I ain't going all out on some shit like that. Like, you know, nah. And see, this cruise, even though it wasn't around Halloween, it was between the time of when Halloween was coming. So they had all these costume like parties or contests for kids, and um, there was a lot going on with younger people on this. And I did enjoy the cruise, but it was a little too much, too many kids on this particular cruise. Like, there's just too much young people mixed with what adults were doing, and I started to get annoyed with all of it because they wasn't people watching their children properly. I couldn't stand it. That's the only part that really annoyed me. I would like to go on a future cruise where there's hardly any kids at all, or one was adults only, just because I don't know. I just think it's better that way. But yeah. So it's always raining around here. Yeah, I remember years and years of when it would rain and we'd have this just shit weather on, and I'd be like, tell the kids like, look, I'll go get you guys some candy at the store, but we ain't gonna go out in this crap. One year, I think it had snowed, or I just remember there being like leaves all over the ground, and it being really windy and rainy once, and another time I think it snowed or some crazy shit early. It's gross. That's when people get hurt. They're not paying attention to their children. Exactly, it was. And like I mean, it just, yeah, I saw some stuff, and I had one kid that was running through the straightaway, this big long, big wide area, right? He came running through there right past us and almost knocked me over. I was mad as hell. I said, "Slow down!" I was yelling because, yeah, I mean, especially the older ones are just let. I don't know where their parents are, but they were. I was never seeing parents hardly anywhere with their kids. There was a few people who obviously looked like they had common sense and weren't holding drinks of alcohol with children running loose the other direction, right? So there was a few that had their shit together, but I was really concerned. I mean, if somebody would have hijacked the boat, they could have had a lot of free kids. I'm just saying. Like, they would have been able to snatch up all sorts of kids because nobody was around watching them. I don't know. It bothered me and my daughter a little bit. We were concerned for them, but thank goodness there was only good people on the boat, obviously. And I think everybody went home with the children they came with. But I would have never allowed all that shenanigans to go on. And then they had a really late curfew for kids. It was like 1 a.m. And I thought that was a stupid idea. I felt like it should have been more like 10 or 11. That's too late. That's early morning hours. Everybody should be resting by then, at least. If there's a few adults wondering about or having a drink or at the casino, that's one thing. But kids, come on. They're from dusk till dawn running the boat. Crazy. They're running upstairs. They're practically knocking people over and knocking shit over. And it's just crazy. But hey, they're also fun to watch too. So we did watch some pretty cool water slide action. My daughter wouldn't get in the water slide for me, so we kind of just watched other people go down it. I was trying to get her in there. Right, right. And they were mostly the older in the teens, but there was quite a few times I saw quite young children and groups with like one just a little bit older than the rest watching like their I don't know where their parents were. I asked somebody on the boat. There was other people on the boat that were upset it wasn't just me. And they said probably at the bar or casino. That's what this one lady said. But it's whatever. But I mean, I don't know. I'm old school, and that's not how we raised our kids. And Even though things weren't as crazy back then, there was still abductions, there was still bad people, there always has been. And I was worried, you know what I mean? Like we had a whole neighborhood watch, and people were always, you know, like if you lived close to the school and your kids walked, everybody walked in a group, and there was always an adult or two with every group of kids. It was never just kids with kids. You know what I mean? And that was just because, I mean, like, you still heard of things happening. Why even, you know, it's easy for somebody to just stroll through your town or wherever you live and just grab some random kid going to school or coming home from school. It happens all the time. It always has. And so no, you just got to watch them. You have to have everybody has to watch out for the youngins, right? The more eyes we have, the safer they'll be. I don't even think it's being old school. I think it's being right. It is, but when I say old school, like nowadays, when I talk to the kids about like how different the discipline is not really implemented properly anymore, the kids are just taking control and doing whatever they want. Whereas back in the day, it seems like people were a lot more strict with their kids, and there was a lot more consequences, and there was a lot less problems. Now they're just like gone mad with the internet and everything, where I didn't have that as much of a challenge because that internet wasn't an introduction for them. They were all raised and pretty much grown before the internet really took off. But once it did, and once the phone started, it changed even my kids. Like the change was so sudden and so like bad. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just glad they were much older before I had to deal with all of it. Because these little ones, you know, they either have their parents' phone or a tablet, and it's like, oh Lord, can they not be soothed with the music or anything like that anymore? Right? We're waiting for Becca to tell us what the craziest thing she ever dressed up in. As a knowing you, Becca, you probably were one of them ones wearing one of them naughty nurse uniforms. Or wait, let me think about it. How about maybe not that? Maybe that would have been like back in the day when y'all first started dating, you and your husband. But how about since then? Have you ever dressed up like when you took the kids out trick or treating? I know some parents don't. Some parents do. They really get into it. She was fun. It was really good for her soul to be away from all the stress that she's under as well, and she's struggling with some things, and she was really happy. She kept telling me, "Thank you for bringing me. It's great to spend just quality time together," and so yeah, we had a really good time, and you know, um, it was fun to have somebody else to help take some pictures and hold the camera sometimes and things like that was really helpful. But yeah, we had a really good time. I mean, I would say like getting through the port and onto the boat and then doing the opposite, leaving, really stressed her out quite a bit, but I had to work her through it. But it is quite a lot of walking and waiting and standing in line, getting off and on the ship. So that probably irritated her the most. But yeah, we had a really good time, and um, yeah, we did. We had fun. I mean, even when we got back to like, um, well, from Houston to no, Galveston to Houston. I'm like skipping ahead. Galveston to Houston. We ended up picking a room that was near the airport for a free shuttle. But little did we know that it had been like recently had something happen to it, and then they had like worked on it, but it still wasn't very good. And it was just kind of like it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. I don't know. It was just weird. And then we were trying to DoorDash because we realized we weren't near any place to get anything to eat. It was just crazy. And then the DoorDash I did was like part of it was like Dollar General because I wanted to get us some drinks and snacks so, you know, we can make them last and maybe even take them on the plane. And they didn't have the drinks I picked, and she never called to ask me. So we got nothing to drink. And then we couldn't find anything to drink because the nearest gas station, I finally got her up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. We walk up there just to find out, you guys, that it's not open till 5. I want to die. By then I was so thirsty. right? And we're walking through this, like, along the road, but like there's like a trail from people walking through there. It was just weird. And I kept getting freaked out thinking somebody was going to jump out of that little bush area. Maybe somebody was sleeping in there. It was weird. And yeah. And then on one of our excursions of going outside to literally like smoke, we went around behind the building. And as we were coming back around, you could kind of see like the street light. Dusty goes, "What the hell is that?" And it was a huge black bug. And she goes, "Oh my God, it's a roach." And I'm like, "What the hell?" And she starts running. And I'm not lying. This thing's chasing her. And I'm between her and it. And I'm trying to get around it to get in the door so we get the hell away from it, period. Right? It was insane. It was insane, y'all. It was so big. It was 3 times the size of ours. It was like something out of the movies. I thought, "Oh my God, this is not it." And then, when we first got there, this was like later that night, but when we first got there, we got a room, which ironically was like 3 doors down from where you leave to go outside, which was nice. We had decided to get one of our goodies that we'd gotten before we went on the trip and had them the whole time waiting till we got back and try that. And we hadn't done anything, smoked anything, done any of that all week long, really, on the trip, except for a few people had some vapes on the boat, but some things like that. But the craziest thing is that we got all goofy, right? And we went back inside and we couldn't remember what room we were in. And the card doesn't say the room number on it. And we didn't know what room we were in. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And we're trying to figure out what to do. And I'm like, "Wait a minute." I knew it was close to like when we walked outside. So I was trying to count doors down and remember how many steps we took, right? Here I'm trying to solve the puzzle, right? And my daughter's steady going up to each door checking to see if it'll open. She got it on the third one. The third one was the one. And it was the closest door to the end right before you walk out. It was like the last door before you walk out the back. Like, it was so silly, you guys. I was just like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah. Right. I don't know, but those are scary. Like, I don't like them things. Now, the one thing I noticed on these islands is that they don't have a bunch of flies and mosquitoes like we have here. Okay. That's one thing I did notice. But they do have, I think we were in Cozumel, there was these stupid ants that were in the sand, and I kept trying to put my feet up on this like wooden thing so I could get my feet tan because I got like a sock line and I was getting tired of my feet being so white and my legs being darker. So I was trying to fix that. These stupid ants kept crawling around. So I said, "Fuck that." So I moved back up to the table where I was at because I had chairs. You could either sit in chairs or sit on a lounge chair with an umbrella. So I got back up underneath there. And then we had these birds that kept trying to come over and snatch food. Like when the people down from us like went to go swim or whatever, they were over there pecking at whatever they had left over sitting there that they left behind. I was like, "Oh my God, it's like Invasion of the Birds." It was crazy there. And they had tequila tasting. So we did that. And oh my God, there's like a funny short I do of this lady. It's our shuttle on the way back to the boat. And this lady she drank a lot of tequila, evidently, while she was there, because she was hollering tequila for like 10 minutes on the shuttle on the way back. It was so funny. And they were wanting the guy to stop the bus and let him off so he could get more tequila. It was quite entertaining. I mean, it's a lot because we didn't have but one excursion, but the rest of the time we got off the boat kind of whenever we decided we wanted to go. We didn't like go off right first thing in the morning. We eventually moseyed off. But our first stop there was like they had a beach that was part of the carnival deal. And so now, if you wanted specific kind of seating or covers or whatever, those, you had to rent those. But if you could find a lawn chair, because it was a free beach, basically free by meaning that it was part of the ship's deal, so you could go there if you didn't have an excursion. But it was great. It was a fun place. There was a lot of things to take pictures with, a lot of spots to do photos. The beach was a lot easier there. That was in Rotan, Honduras. That was our first stop, and it was a lot easier there than I just wasn't the part of Cozumel that we were on. The beach was not that good, and it was very rocky. And when you tried to go in the water, it was very rocky, and there was tons because of the time of year it is seaweed everywhere. So it really wasn't a great experience. I mean, last year I went to the Bahamas, and that was in September, and the water there was beautiful everywhere. Everywhere we went, it was just gorgeous water, and it wasn't all nasty and dirty like that. So I don't know. It was bizarre. I'm fading. I love you. I'm listening too. Sometimes when I can't sleep, but I think, oh my God, I got to stretch out. I can't sit in this damn office chair anymore. I'll go back and lay down, and I'll be like watching a movie or just listening to, like, there's been times when like Lainey and everybody's been on or whatever, but I can't sit here anymore. So I'll lay down and listen. And it's funny how you wake up and either somebody's still on there or some other thing has started on your phone. And you're like, what the hell is that? I don't know if it's good if you put people to sleep. Only sometimes, right? Yes. I don't know. And then I have all these coupons from Carnival. Now they're sending me all this stuff. And I literally, like, I think I played $60 at the casino the last night we were there because I really didn't have much interest in going there since I was on a budget. And there was only 4 machines I really would have liked to have played because they're the kind that I normally play. And you couldn't get on them, especially that last night. It was packed in there. So I tried a few things, didn't get really very far, and I lost interest, and it was getting late. And I had to walk quite a ways back because I was on the 8th, well, the casino's on the 7th deck, and I was on deck 16, but on the other side of the boat. There's forward, center, and then aft, which is the back end. Ah, aft. Oh my lord. I don't know, y'all. I know a lot of people do things on Halloween too, so I was trying to do kind of a later thing because I knew that especially people with youngins go out and, do the trick or treat thing. So I don't know. I think we were 14, maybe 15 the last time we went out and did any kind of Halloweening. And so, you know, yeah, it'll be 3 years this coming spring, I believe. And we've met in person twice and had 2 little short vacations on my way to my cruises, and those have been amazing. This last one was great because we had 2 days, and that made all the difference because we got to do a lot more stuff. We got to do a little tour, and um, went to the beach and got lots of photos. But we could have got more, but we got a lot of photos of everything around us. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really was. It's kind of nice to just kind of like get there and kind of chill and do something else, and then your cruise is coming. You're not rushed to go from a plane to a shuttle to a. It's bad enough when you have to hit 3 airports in one day and then an hour drive to get all the way to the Gulf. So that in itself is a long travel day. So yeah, I recommend anybody going on a cruise 1 to 2 days before. My first time I did the day before. But then I felt like I was leaving my friends so soon and we just got to see each other. So we were like, oh no, like if I don't see you again, I'm at the sea. But anyway, um, yeah, we were all right. But this time we went 2 days ahead, and that gave us 2 nights together. And we just had so much fun, so much laughing and giggling and funny stuff. And um, my daughter and BB got along great, and yeah, it was entertaining. And our not the first night we were there because we got there pretty late because they had to pick us up at the airport, and we all shoved in the car together and drove down. But the second night, we went to Walmart and got groceries and stuff, and I made everybody tacos, and that was really good. So we had tacos. I had to chase down my cat. She snuck out when I was taking out the dog. Right? I've had one of the dogs going out and had the other one get out behind me and not even realize it because the door didn't shut properly. Of course, they can push it. And all of a sudden, I turn around and I'm like, how'd you get out here? Yeah, they like to get out, especially on Halloween, I think. The animals, especially cats, man. They're like, let's check this shit out. I think my dogs are all passed out in their dog beds. In Vegas, the fish is sleeping inside his coconut cave. Yeah, I'm getting ready to change him to a bigger tank, and we got some more snails in there coming out, and find a couple little community friends to put in with him. They have some smaller type goldfish that don't get very big. That would be just fine. A beta can get along with just fine. So I'm gonna do something like that for him. I'm gonna go 10-gallon. I got a 4 right now. I don't want to get too big, but my plan is to put it on this divider bookcase thing that we're gonna build for the living room to kind of divide the kitchen and living room. But it's gonna be facing the living room, so there'll be drawers on the bottom, and then it'll be shelves. And then I want to put the fish tank on the top and install one of those USB outlet plug-in things that you just buy it and just cut a hole open. You just place it right on there so you can plug everything in right on top. And then we're going to build around it so you can see the fish tank from the kitchen and the living room. You'll be able to see it both sides. It'll look really neat. So that's what I want to do. Another crazy idea. I was already going to build the other thing, but then I got the fish tank idea because I've always thought that would be neat. I'll have to figure out my design, like for around it, because I don't want to put anything too high because I don't want it to feel too blocked off in the living room. So we'll build up around it, but it'll be like, you know what I mean? It won't be like massively tall. So yeah. So that's a project on the list of DIYs. And bedroom door needs stained on both sides. I have the stain. I just need to get it done. It's going to be something I do inside. So I was thinking about, should we bring the sawhorses in? But I told my husband, I said, they've been outside, so we'd have to clean them or put them on plastic so they didn't get my floors dirty. But doors are tricky, guys. They really are. You literally have to do them and let them dry for a while before you can turn them over and do the other side. And then when you do turn them over, they have to be dry, wet sanded and smoothed out, and then on something cushiony enough to where when you're turning it over to do the other side, it doesn't make marks in your door. So, yeah. No, that's not related to Halloween, but I thought I'd throw that in there. Oh, my word. What's really crazy is there is a lot of night owls. And anytime I've ever done a live that was like anywhere from like, say, 12:30 in the morning to like, I don't know, 4 a.m., it seems like you get the most people. And so I know I'm not the only one that can't sleep at night. Well, like a lot of times, if there's nobody on or nothing, I'll go through and check the news, see what kind of crap's going on, and then I'll try to find a movie to watch, usually. So if you haven't noticed, all the true crime stuff out there right now, everybody's pretty much talking about the same cases. And it's all these different versions of, I don't know. Sometimes I pop in and listen to a little bit of this and that, but not just too much of it, It can be, it's just like constant bad news, a shooting, a massive accident, mass casualties. It's just like one horrible event after the other. It's like, gosh, it's kind of like depressing after a while. So we got to stay on the positive side over here and try to look at the positive things that are going on, which might have to look for them a little harder these days, but they're still there, right? I'm trying to find the positivity and feeling miserable, but I'm not getting there. I'm ready to leave and go out of here. If I can't go to the ocean, I'd like to go to the desert. So this one or the other, right? But they're both very pleasant. The gravitational pull out there and out west is much different than here as well. It agrees with me better as well. I'm finding the places where I can go in the world that I can tell that it's less stress on me. Like my body has less stress on it, and I'm able to do more. And that's what I'd rather be doing than feeling crappy and froze to death all the time. Yeah, I know, right? Well, and oh shit. Well, it's been pretty windy too. And see, we had to take, we got a cover on the furniture, but we just need to get it all taken apart. I had to get lawn and leaf bags because they're the only thing big enough to store the cushions in for the season. And so we just put them all in lawn and leaf bags and then stack them all over in storage. That way they're clean and ready for the next season. So we still have to get that stuff done and taken over to storage, and then like a whole bunch of other stuff that has to do with the outdoor stuff. We have to get all this stuff put up because I won't leave it out in the winter. It'll just get messed up. It just, all the snow and dampness is cold. It rusts everything. So those like bird baths and stuff, I'm going to just clean them up, wipe them down, and bag them up and stick them in storage. Believe me, after I got all that stuff, I was like, wow, this is going to be a lot of work taking all this shit down. And it has been. I've been working on it for a while, every day going out, taking more stuff apart. I was letting everything have a chance, see how far it'd go. My watermelons, it got too cold. They didn't get a chance to finish. When I finally got the feeding right and figured out, then everything started flourishing. And then the weather changed so drastically that I couldn't save them. If I could have got them into under a heat lamp, I could have done it, but I just didn't do it. So we have these little miniature watermelons, you guys. I'll have to do a live like on Sunday and show you guys. It's so funny. But when I got back, one of it's called mixed green lettuce. One of those was completely bloomed out, and it said 4 to 6 inches, and you could pull it. Well, it had tripled in size, I swear, since I had left. It was massive. So when I got home, that was like one of the first things I did that day was pull that. And it's really good lettuce. We've already used it on tacos and all sort of salad and everything. So I have a few more that are growing back there, and I'm hoping that they can flourish before we get any crazy stuff going on here, right? And I think the carrots are probably growing. The one big carrot plant is so big, I can see underneath it the carrot, at least one. And I think the ones I planted were the baby carrots. So I'm going to have to go and do a little investigating and see what's under there. Yeah, I know, right? But it's cute because they are a little miniature. They were like the baby ones anyway. They would only been like 4 to 5 pounds, but they're like miniature. Yeah. Don't worry. I've already mapped out everywhere what I'm going to plant and that stuff that I got later that I would have rather planted in other things. I've already got it all figured out next year. And the watermelon, we're not going to grow it vertical this time. We've got like an area where these old hostas were, and I wanted him to dig them out. And then one of the things I found from learning some gardening stuff is that the rocks can be good, or cardboard or different things underneath your soil, because it allows the roots to breathe, and it also filters water and stuff. It like pulls it away so that they don't get drenched all the time, like they don't get overwatered. So we have some rocks out in that area, and he was starting to take them out. And I said, you know what, we should leave them there, and then next year just build a raised bed around it and even out the rocks, and then put our soil down, and we'll put the watermelon plants and grow them there. And then you just let the vine go across, and then the watermelons grow along that vine. So I'm going to do it the right way this next time. I've got it figured out. Right? It does, right. But I think for those, that would work perfect for them. And right now we're saving the dirt that we can save and putting it in with our compost so we can have it all ready for next time. So we'll have some of our own like compost made next year. But this year we bought compost and soil, Miracle Grow, and then the potting soil. And we did like a layer of the one and then a layer of the other. I know. I've been having a hard time. Two of them were indoor plants that I took outside and let them be outside during the summertime. But whenever I did, only gave them so much sun, and then I'd have them under the awning. So that's how I did it. And the one I would like the pineapple plant, I would bring in and out mostly. But the palm tree I had out there, and I would like let it be out and get sun during the day, but I would put it up under the awning, kind of, But now it's inside. Both that and the pineapple plant are both inside because it's too cold for them. So they're both in here and they're doing okay. I mean, when there's a sunny day, I bring them over to the window and try to give them light. And then I brought my 2 sweet potatoes they were growing in that 9 by 13 like cake pan thing forever. And then I finally got a clear tote emptied out and transplanted the dirt, and the roots were like conformed to the size of that pan. So I loosened the dirt and I put fresh soil in and I set it down in there. And now, because it's clear, I can see through. All the roots finally grew down and stretched out in there. And those have been going since April. And they produced so many slips. I mean, I had to throw away so many. I could have given the whole park out here slips to grow sweet potatoes with. And when I picked those out of all those bags, because I had trimmed the plant the wrong way earlier in the season, some of them didn't get to finish maturing. And I could have left them grow just a little longer because they actually can grow and you can pull them all the way up to the first frost. And I should have just left them a little longer, but it's whatever. I know what I need to fix next time. And I'm not going to grow that many of them. And I don't know if I'm going to do it in the grow bags next time because I just felt like they didn't have that much space for the potatoes to grow. Or I need to put the soil, it has to be looser soil next time without all that extra dirt that we had stuck in there. That wasn't very good dirt, I don't think. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I know what I need to do different. And now I know that I need to feed them. When I got that organic triple 10 stuff, and you just add it to a gallon of water, it's just a little bit like a teaspoon. And that shit really, really took like everything took off that I used it on. So I'll be definitely using it regularly next season, and it'll really make a difference. And I did some like end of like season experimenting with some stuff. I replanted certain things to see how they take by using the organic stuff from the beginning. So I did some experimental stuff to kind of figure out my own situation, just so that I could like fix the mistakes and have them figured out. I didn't know. Oh my God, Mary Jane Doe, I love succulents, and that's the only thing I didn't. I was gonna buy them all summer. I wanted to get some, and I didn't. But next year, I'm definitely, because I love those. I want to get these little tiny pots, and you can put them in them, and they hang. It's the neatest thing I found on Amazon. They're little colored, little like terracotta pots just for succulents. Oh my God, I want some so bad. I was gonna get them on Amazon, and then you buy like, I think it was 20 or 25 bucks, and you got like, I don't know, like 10 or 12 succulents. It was neat. I definitely want to implement some of those into some designs for next year. I've got some different ideas. Now I don't know what I'm going to do when we pull the pool and the fountains. That's going to be our last thing we do, but I don't know what I want to do with that area once we pull that. I was thinking of something like something seasonal, but not specific to a holiday, but just seasonal for winter. So I'll have to come up with something. I mean, why not? We can use the palette, you know, display to do different stuff with. I've got the lights wrapped for basically Christmas lights, and we've taken the pots down, but we do have some of that stuff can stay, like the ivy stuff. And but once I take the pool out of there and that stuff and put it away, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with it. I haven't even had a time to look and see what kind of like cool ass like winter type decorations or something that we could set up there for a display. I was thinking about it. You know, I'll have to look. I have too many things that need fixed right now to worry about that, right? Sometimes people will on Marketplace they'll throw some like they get too many decorations or they got some stuff and they want to change up their stuff and you can get good deals there too. So I usually look there before I look on Amazon just to see what people are getting rid of, especially if it's outdoor type deco. But everything I purchased from May until I don't know, August was all summer stuff, so I have no seasonal anything. And as we all know, fountains don't run in the winter in Iowa, so that's depressing for me. 'Cause, yeah, I was just thinking about that. We're gonna have to, that antique tub up there. It's gonna take a long while to dry that thing out because of how long it's been had water in it. But next year I want to get it painted because this year I wanted to paint it aqua, and it was really a neat color. And we ended up painting the palette display thing more, and didn't end up getting that painted. But next year I'm gonna paint it. I mean, it's cool, but it's just kind of dingy looking because it's the original, like, I don't know, steel looking old, it's an antique. And I seen somebody, it was really funny and ironic, but one day on Marketplace, I actually saw somebody that had the exact same tub and they had painted it aqua and it looked really neat. It has like an original sticker on the front, like something that's kind of faded, but I was going to paint up to that and then leave that little area like it is, right? But yeah, somebody did it and had already had my same idea with that same color, almost exact color, and it looks neat. So next year it's gonna be aqua. Make it different. It'll look like a new piece, but it's the same one, right? I could, but if I had, I could have purchased a whole bunch of those because people were selling them like all summer, and you could get one and like maybe next year I could get another one and paint it orange, and then that could be like you know the fall fountain or whatever. Change them out. A little color changing never hurt nobody, right? Damn cat snuck out again. I'm telling you, cats are sneaky. Beachy's cats are always playing her, getting out the door, or trying at least. And be like, oh, there's a cat. Oh, they're with the dog. What do they say after midnight? All the stories may come out. Wouldn't that be funny if I was right about that? Luckily, right? I hate it when you don't know if your pet's going to run from you or not. And I remember one time telling the dogs when they were thinking of if they should keep going or come back, I said, you'd really want to run away from all that good food? Or I'd shake a bag of treats back in the day to get them to come back in the house. That worked every time. You get to shaking that thing, boy, they know that's their treats. They're ready to go. I opened the door, the dogs ran right back in. We need, it's just about to not be hollow sleep anymore. They know where they get fed exactly. And these guys have been way more excitable about mealtime now than they ever were back when I used to give dry dog food. Now that we're making them all this fresh food, man, they've gone mad. Y'all, they'd be sitting here just huffing and puffing. And even if I'm trying to make us food, they think it's their time. And oh my goodness, it's so funny. These guys get a lot of good food, though. Corey's like, damn, the dogs eat better than we do. Well, sometimes they do if we're not eating the right stuff. But I've looked into a lot of different stuff and added a lot of different things to their diet. because there's a lot more that they can have, and you got to get creative with it. It's like trying to cook for people. You got to come up with recipes, right? So we change their meat out. We'll do chicken for a while, and then we'll get turkey, ground turkey, and make turkey burgers. And then I'll chop them down into their food because I like to give them bigger chunks of meat so they don't have just itty bitty, like grounded up meat. I used to ground the turkey up, and it just seemed like they just ate, they weren't even getting to chew anything. It was just like they were engulfing it. So we switched how we made it. Yeah, I haven't done any research on the cat food either. And cats are a little more finicky than dogs. I mean, dogs really like a lot of pretty much everything, especially meat. Cats are a little more finicky because we have a cat. His name's Heechee. And well, we named him after Beachy because I didn't know it was a boy cat at first. And Beachy has black cats, so it was just funny. But anyway, so we found out. My daughter said, "That's a boy." I said, "Okay, well, we'll name him Heechee then." So his name's Heechee, and he's been coming and visiting Bigfoot at the grill pretty much the whole summer. So every time he'd be cooking, the cat would come. And we get like cans of tuna and salmon and different kinds of stuff from the food bank sometimes and shit. So we'll open up, when we're not cooking something, we'll open up something and feed him. And I'm sure other people around here do too. So, but he kind of like, it's kind of like this is his spot. Like he trusts us enough. Like he'll come, and sometimes he's even like laid out on the patio, and it's interesting. So we have a friendly neighbor cat that was probably abandoned with a lot of other cats around here when people left their homes. So yeah, it's like take your animals with you. You brought them into your home. If you can't take care of them, find somebody that will, but don't just abandon them. That's awful. I don't know what's wrong with people these days. I always say if you think about what you'd feel like if somebody did that to you, then you can see yourself not doing things easier. I think that's kind of, yeah, it is. I mean, I just wish people wouldn't do shit like that. You know what I mean? Hell, I feel bad when I'm not with mine, or even if we'd go like overnight when we just had two dogs. And when we had to, we could like go overnight, go to the casino, spend the night, come home the next morning, they were fine. But that was as much as we'd ever do. And I have them cameras and I can talk to them and stuff, but I didn't really like doing it. It makes you feel a certain way. It's really weird. Um, and I missed them, of course, when I was gone a lot because I'm used to sleep. They sleep with me and keep me all warm and stuff. So that was it was hard to sleep without them. I managed to get one of my blankets. Somehow I just used a store bag and I stuck it in there and tied it on my daughter's backpack so we could get it on the plane because I really wanted one of my blankets that was soft. And so yeah, but yeah, that's why when we like go on long road trips, we just take them with us because it's too hard to really find sitters, and it costs a fortune to hire people to do it unless your family will come and watch animals, which we've been lucky enough to get a couple of my kiddos to do it here and there. But yeah, I don't know, you guys. And when we went on road trips though, they've done really good. We've done 8 and 9 hour ones so far. That's about the longest we've taken them. But they did great. All three of them, they did great. I was really proud of them. We put their dog cot, which is like, you know what that is, like you can use them outside or inside, whatever. But if they're outside, then they can lay on it without laying on the ground. And we have like a dog bed pad type thing with like fox fur on it. It's really cute. And it's perfectly like the same size as the dog cot. And so you can like put it on there. So we laid it on there and had them like in the van, but we had the seats in the van down. So they had a nice little space to sleep and rest. And yeah, we drove like late at night and drove overnight when they're normally sleeping anyway, just like you would with kids. And so when you get there in the morning, they're up and ready to go, but you've arrived where you need to be. It worked out good, except for when we tried to pull over this gas station and sleep for a few hours. And as soon as we pulled in, I swear to you, all sorts of people started pulling in too. We were hoping we had found a quiet spot because we knew they'd start barking if they heard people talking outside the vehicle. And they did. So we really didn't get a lot of sleep. But we made it, even though we hit a deer on the way and it tore the mirror off our van and did some damage, and we still had to drive, and we were already like on our way. I mean, we were just getting ready to leave the state. We were just about to the bridge to go over and get to Illinois, and boom. It was crazy. It was one of those moments where after it happens, your heart's racing, your adrenaline, you're all freaked out, and you're thinking, oh my God, what else is going to happen? Because we're driving at night, you know? So the whole rest of the trip, I was having like moments of like panic, like, oh my God, oh my gosh, you know, like, is anything else going to come out? So then I couldn't rest because I was like really paying close attention to everything. And it's too hard to see anything at night, especially coming off the interstate in areas where there's not a lot of lighting. That's where he was. He got blinded by the headlights and then didn't know which way to go. And yeah, it was just nuts. We clipped him pretty good. He took our mirror off. I don't know where the hell that went off to, but we don't even know where the fucking deer went. We kept going a little ways, and then he pulled over so we could check the vehicle out and make sure we could still proceed. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to have to try to do a live from my laptop, and because I know that I did a long time ago, or maybe I wasn't live, but I was on somebody's panel, and I remember how much easier it was. There was like a lot more options on there, things to do, and so some of my StreamYard stuff might work better from that too. Because that thing's tricky, like when you're trying to set your banners and your background up. I was trying to get my background so it wasn't just black like that. And yeah, there's like the background stuff, and I don't know why the hell it wasn't acting right. I had found a really cool one, but then it wasn't. Nobody could hear me, and I was like, what the hell? Right. By now I've put Becca to sleep because she already said that it was almost happening, so I'm pretty sure that I succeeded at this point. She'll say F you, Shirley. It's just a little inside joke, but I'll fuck with her. Like, she'll be telling me something and she'll make me laugh, and I'll start laughing about it, and then she'll be like, fuck you. And then we both laugh. It's just funny. It's just a little goofy thing we do, but oh my gosh. I am so cold, and I don't know, but when you get cold and the dry weather, it starts to make you start, where's the lotion? Gotta start protecting our skin from the cold. I just don't do good in the cold weather. It's very annoying. So anybody else want to jump in chat and tell us some crazy stories about Halloween that you've experienced? Or what kind of costumes been your favorite, best party you ever went to, scariest haunted house, anything like that? We're very interested in hearing your stories. Tell us Tales from the Crypt. Remember that show, y'all? I'll never forget that, where that goofy thing would come on there. Oh my goodness, that was so funny. It was like back when the digital antennas, you could get these digital channels in for free. I lived out in the country, so we could get a few. And I remember that one would be on, like, I think it was like late on Saturday nights, I want to say. Friday or Saturday nights. Oh my goodness. Old shows. Interesting. Yeah, my sleep schedule has been completely twisted like a candy cane since I've been back. It was already messed up. I mean, on the boat, I would like, my daughter kept wanting to go to sleep. She was so exhausted from all the walking all day in the heat. And so she'd lay down sometimes early in the evening. And then I'd get her up and we, mosey around later if she had a little nap. But a couple nights I went up, it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's nobody around. There might be, you'll see an occasional worker cleaning up something or whatever. But it was the most peaceful time to go up on the 17th deck and just chill. Not all that noise, because normally during the day everybody's drinking, smoking cigarettes, and it's loud. So I really enjoyed finding places on the boat that were quiet, where you felt like you were the only one on the boat. And that was nice. I definitely have to say that was definitely nice. Um, yeah, I don't know. All I have to say is I just I think it's amazing that you can like go and visit all these places in like 1 week's time. You're sailing all over the ocean. It's just like quite an amazing adventure. It really is. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get the virtue up to do an international bucket list, but I know I want to do it someday. I just don't know about the plane ride for me because my longest was, I think, when we went to California, and you go from like Iowa to Denver and then switch planes and then San Francisco. But the only thing with that was the flight times were broke up, so you know how much time it took to get there compared to like how long the flights were. They weren't real long flights in between each destination. So going from like no more than like a 3 hour flight ever to something that's 8 or 9 hours is a big jump. Yeah, I didn't hear any crazy stories on this cruise, Mary Jane, though. Like, I didn't hear about any deaths this time, any arrests or anything like that. So, not like my first cruise when there was all sorts of stories I was hearing about. So, yeah, there was just a lot of people that were annoyed with people that were drunk and not watching their shit, you know? Other than that, that was about the only complaints I heard. I don't know. The last couple of days, I was getting bummed because I knew that was about time to go back and everything was going to go back to crazy like it was before. And then I had this upcoming test to do and I wasn't looking forward to that. So I was like, I just wanted to stay on the ocean. Be right back. Yeah. I love this Airwick thing. It's like a black uh, Airwick, and it's got like a little bottle that goes in it, and you set it on however strong you want the scent, and every like I don't know, so many 30 minutes or so, it automatically sprays in the air, and it smells so good. It's like a lavender something. It smells so cold. I gotta figure out where my warm robe is. I can't put my clothes on without everybody else have problem get their shirts. You take it out of the dryer and it's warm, but it's inside out. I was like, wait a minute, that ain't right. I need to shake this rug up.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be talking. Trying to get Bigfoot to talk when I was out of the room, but he seems to be speechless. Come on over here and put your phone down for a minute. Disassemble. Yeah, Bigfoot had quite the fun time. I guess the dogs were a lot less barky when I wasn't here. Just like they are, like if he goes somewhere and it's just me and them, they're so weird like that. I don't know what their deal is. Somehow they think when we're both to get in the same area, they have to compete somehow or do some. I don't know what their thing is, but it's weird. It's like, wonder what we can do here. So, Mary Jane, do you ever have coffee late in the evening, or you more just a morning coffee drinker? This next week, I'll get. Well, they do your tests and they give you like the preliminary, like what they can tell you right now, and then they send everything out, and then they tell you the rest after the fact. After they do all their little dissections, biopsies, of course. I'm just being silly, but I thought I'd make it more related to the holiday, right? Ta-ta-ta. Yeah, so I mean, if anybody's got anything they want to share, go right ahead. If anybody wants to come up on the panel, I can pop a StreamYard link up there. I'm sure there's one in there, but it's probably way back in the beginning because I think I posted it. Like, okay, we've been on here an hour and 55, so I know I posted it a while ago. Yeah, Corey, the foot. It's your supply, Mr. Foot. Oh, that's a fun costume. That scared the shit out of me when I was in that bag. Oh my god, y'all. Oh my gosh. I forgot he had those like glove things that are all like weird looking. That shit scared me. I'm like, what's in this bag? Who is those things?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm kind of like that too. It used to be like more, I drank it regular in the winter time. And when I used to do a paper route years ago, I would drink it a lot more then because it was so damn cold in the morning getting up and doing that. Plus, you needed energy. But now you just made some cool. There's been a few days where I've like went to bed or sat down and like fell asleep for 2-3 hours and then I wake up and then I can't go back to sleep for another 5 or 6. So I'll be on there trying to find movies or something fucking shit to watch. It's crazy. They say not to drink caffeine or smoke nicotine late at night when you're trying to go to sleep because it'll keep you awake. That must be what's going on, right? Bigfoot stretching and the dog just came up and stood beside him and did the same exact thing. That is so bizarre. Hi, Emma. Emma girl stretch. You stretching too, Gio? She's a funny dog. She's my emotional support dog out of all of them. Like they all are in their own way, but like she's like the one that she's like got to be near me all the time. If I go to bed, she knows if I'm going to bed or not by what I do before I leave the kitchen. Right? So if she sees me brushing my teeth, washing my hands, and putting things away, she knows I'm going to go to bed soon. And if I take my shoes off by the back door before I walk in the bedroom, then she knows that I'm going to lay down. So then she'll wait for me to go lay down. And after she hears me get in the bed, then she comes in and then jumps up and gets herself settled. So it's quite funny. And then after that, they just kind of file in whoever's there. Like sometimes Milo will like lay at the end of the bed. I have a dog like bed couch thing for him at the end of my bed on the floor for them to sleep on. And sometimes he doesn't feel like jumping up on the bed, so he'll just chill there. And little man, Gizmo, he'll get up there, but he gets so scared that Milo's gonna get mad if he's in his spot that a lot of times he won't necessarily lay near me. I want to cuddle with him, but he'll be at the end of down at the end going, "Oh God, if he comes up here, he'll be mad," because they don't like it if one of the other dogs approaches the space they've already claimed for their spot. It's quite interesting. So we had to get such a big bed. We have a Bigfoot and 3 dogs. We had to have plenty of room for everybody. Even when we just had 2 dogs, they ain't even big dogs, but yeah. I always have to get Emma. Like sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be like, "Look, if you're gonna sleep in here at the top of the bed, you have to have your head forward only. We do not do bums right the wrong way up. Ha! Like turn yourself around, girl. You don't need no candy, Bigfoot. You need me. Use one of your. Oh man, my shoulder blade. I haven't need to. Yeah, feels weird. Ow! It's amazing when you're trying to do one thing, what else will crack and pop when you're doing that. Because I had my left hand over here on my right shoulder blade, and I turned my neck a certain way, and I heard it go crack, and I'm like, oh, that felt great. Lovely. You know, like when you go to the chiropractor and they move different things different ways so things pop. Yeah, it seems you don't have to go to those places anymore to hear that. Back in the day, you never heard any of your body making the noises it makes when you get older. That's for sure. In the bag, cherry Danish. Interesting, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't have any idea. I'm gonna have to come up with some definite winter decor ideas. I think something. How do you do winter without it being too holiday-ish? Because winter's winter, but like yeah, there's 2 holidays, but like I don't want it to be specific to a holiday, so I want to just do like a winter, more like I don't know, a winter wonderland. Yeah, exactly. I think they should make an ice fountain. An ice fountain would be fun, right? It just freezes as it goes up and it becomes a sculpture. It's an ice sculpture. Of course, I guess it would only stay that way if the temperature was always cold enough to keep it freezing, right? So there you go. So that may not be as easy as it sounds. I know there's some places that turn them off at certain times. I mean, so far we haven't had anything freeze yet, so we haven't done that, but I'm sure it'll hit us quick. It always does. So one year we had snow before Halloween, and it was the strangest. It was like 3, 4 years ago. It was the strangest event ever because it was like something we don't normally run into. And the year before that, we didn't have snow till January. So you just never know here where we're at. We're in a really weird mid area of like the United States, so we get like strange weather from all around us all the time. So I think that's why it changes so much because the top of the state is to the northern states and the bottom of it's to the southern states, and so we're drawing it from both directions, but really it's interesting, that's for sure. Anybody else use a Yeti? Keep your coffee warm. I bet you got a Yeti. Oh my goodness. Is it just a name or is it really quite insulated? Yeah, right? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. My husband had years ago, like almost, it looked like kind of a metal thermos type coffee mug. That thing would keep shit warm forever. It was really well made. Out of all the ones that I think we've ever used, that was the one that kept things the hottest, the longest. Especially in the wintertime when you're moseying around, you got your warm coffee and you try to go somewhere because you want to stay warm. And you don't want something that gets cold right away. That ain't no fun, right? I did see this thing one time though, and you plugged it into your lighter and you put it in your cup holder and it would keep it warm so that it would keep your drinks warm. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that, well, you never know though. In a couple hours, Megs might wake up because it'll be, well, no, what's a Yeti? um, just basically a certain style of coffee mug. I have two different ones. I have like a short, really round um Yeti with a lid, and then I have a taller, slender style Yeti cup. But they're just a thermal cup. They have like Yeti coolers, and it's some stupid name brand thing, but. Oh, you know what? Mary Jane Doe, that's what Beachy uses, and it's so cool. Whenever I would visit her, she had her little candle, and then she had this like ceramic thing, and her coffee cup would sit on top of it and keep it warm. Oh, and you got one that plugs in. So, yeah, I used to have one, but it was weird. It was for a soup. It was one of those big round soup cups, that looks like it's for soup. But I mean, you could put coffee in it. It's just really big and wide. And I had one of those that sat on a warmer that plugged in years ago. I don't know whatever happened to that, but yeah, I should get something like that. Those are kind of neat. I don't know. All I know is that I need to move to a warmer climate because this weather here don't agree with me. And for 5 years, I've wanted to like us to take a little expedition out to the Arizona area and try doing like a winter there and see how we like it. I mean, I know we're gonna love it because we like it out there, but like the weather being warmer would be nice. Yeah, I have a big cup that keeps your drink warmer. I can't really read the brand. I think I got it on that. Right? And right. I don't remember that Yeti cup there was a gift from the casino, I believe, the short one, and this tall one my husband managed to get somewhere. So I mean they're good, but. I don't know. I don't know. I've had good and bad ones. back in the day, well, we still have them in our little thing over there, but we both had like a camel coffee cup because we were all into camel. Oh, okay. Man, I'm so sore. Hopefully, I don't know what the temperature's supposed to be tomorrow. I think in the 50s, but I'm gonna have to take the dogs for walks earlier. In the summer, you can do it later in the evening because it's warm still, but not this time of year. This time of year is like better do it before 5, otherwise you get colder. Of course, when you walk, it warms you up too. So, but these guys got little sweaters and dog shirts and stuff I can put on them. Most of them they're good with their fur, but Gizmo had gotten his hair cut recently, and it took way too much off for the time of year it was. But so he's wearing a little um, doggy shirt to keep him warm. Has the little loop on it if you want to hook their leash on it. Which he walks better with it like that because then they're not choking themselves on their collar when they like to pull. The harnesses, I think, are better. Anybody out there in the bushes want to share any Halloween stories with us? Even though we're 15 minutes past the hour. Oh my goodness. Man. Yeah, I really wish I didn't even make it home in time to get to be in my little fort before they're like, oh, well, the season's over. You got to take all your stuff down. It's like, okay, how about you just go sit in your own yard? Because I had plans. We were gonna try to push it a little longer, and then like get like an outdoor heater type thing to blow some warm air out there when we were out there, so we don't freeze to death. But yeah, they weren't going for it, so couldn't get away with it. Which makes it hard because it was much easier to visit with people in the summer because we could actually hear people when we were outside and the dogs were barking at people while we were trying to talk to them. Because I get so overwhelmed when people come in the house and everybody walks out here and everybody's standing around me and they get panicked. I don't know what the deal is. It's weird. You're fine. Relax. Miss Lady Legs. What you doing, Emma? She's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Tell us stories. Yes. Trust me, I have spell check things going on all the time. I'll be like trying to do that talk text and it'll type the weirdest shit if you don't like say each word individually. Like it's like, wow, this stuff is not that advanced. I don't know. How you doing over there, Emma? Hi. How you doing? You good girl? Hi. What you got to say? Oh God, don't get him started. How about you guys go lay down? It's night time. Go lay down. Go night night. Night night. I think. Yeah, there you go. Go night night. Hi, Milo. Go night night. I love you. Hello. Hi, sweetie. How's my boy? You go lay down. Mhm. I need to cut your hair again. Trim the hair around his face and eyes. I still feel like I didn't get enough because his eyebrow, like above his eyebrows, his hair is pretty long. So it still kind of like rotates back over by his eyes. Right, Milo? Goodness gracious. Yeah, I know, right? As soon as he gets up, he instantly thinks he needs to go to the bathroom. It don't matter what time it is. He's just always been like that. He's like got this small bladder, I think. And it sucks that we can't just open the door and let them go out, do what they got to do, and come in. We can, but they have to be tied up because they won't let us have fencing here, so we can't let our dogs have the freedom choosing. You mad? All right, hold on, everybody. Definitely needs his nails cut. You can hear them when they walk across the floor. And they're getting long because you can hear them more than when they were trimmed. So it is not easy to get them to sit still for that ordeal either. He was easier when they were little, and then they get older and then like, no way. Really? Yeah, I did. And I knew they were eventually going to arrest him, but I'm hoping they get the other two because they know something too. They all had to know what was going on there. They all lived together. There was no way all three of those adults, if not four, didn't know what was going on. Unless, like I said, somebody was hiding it from someone else, but he was the one that tattled first that he was buried in their yard. So it gives you the impression that somebody else buried him there and then he knew about it or he helped, because then why would he know? But then someone moved him when he went to jail. It's just really weird. I mean, none of it completely makes 100% sense, like what they did. I just don't understand. I wish they hadn't moved him so that the parents could have got him back. You know what I mean? That would have been the right thing to do. But obviously, they were scared they were going to get busted. And once they knew they were going to start looking around, obviously somebody moved him, because they said that the dogs had hit on a scent that they believed he was there at one time and then was moved. There was evidence that he'd been there, is what they said way back. But yeah, it's a crazy case. And I don't know. I just hope that it's one of those guys. If whoever, if one of them, at least one of them knows where he's at this point, or whoever moved him. They need to tell. I mean, at this point, they're screwed. So there's no reason to not tell, other than just being a shameful human being that you already are. But let the family bury their baby. That's just wrong. People are just messed up. Jesus. Never seems to end. I mean, our children can't even play in their own driveway, in their own yard. And you got to worry about somebody just walking along going, oh, there's a kid. Like, what the fuck? It's crazy. I can't comprehend any of it anymore. I just think it's nuts. I mean, I think of all the way we played and how like we went, not real far from home, but in the neighborhood, and to think of trying to do that now, I'd be afraid to even try. I think more kids need to be not necessarily scared, but more alert, though, because now they're being tricked and fooled and promised things and lured out of their homes, and they think they're talking to people their own age, and it's just awful. It's just like you'd have to constantly be 100% always monitoring their social media just to catch some of the stuff that goes on. No matter how young they are, it doesn't matter, because these younger people are learning how to use all these devices and all this technology, and and get themselves in situations with it. That's for sure. The one thing I wanted to do well, on the cruise, obviously they have, like a spa and stuff, but off the boat on this one, I noticed they had a whole lot of, like, everywhere we stopped, there was massages being offered. It was part like, ways for them to make money, but on these resorts and places, they'd have them like right there outside. And did I ever want to do that? But it just didn't have the budget for it. But it would have been nice because you're sore after you lug all your luggage around and you're walking all over the place for days and days. But yeah, I saw them giving people what they call a hammock massage. And so these people were laying in these hammocks and they're doing normal massage like they would your arms and all that. And then they would lay these yoga mats underneath the person's hammock and they would massage their back and the other side with their feet and their hands and elbows. It was really bizarre, y'all. That was in Costa Maya. I was like, holy shit. That was interesting. I'd never seen that before. Somebody having, yeah, that setup was different. Right. For sure. We definitely need that. Ouch. I remember I was trying to explain to, well, me and another person, to my daughter, that, like, people jumping off of a ship, it's not like what you see in the movies where they land in the water and they're okay. If you're up too high, this guy was like, it's like hitting cement. So it's not a good idea. Especially when you're all the way at the top. Don't recommend it. I took one, I have one picture, one video and picture that I took of like the ship standing in front of it as it's protruding out of the water. It is so enormous. Just to give kind of a view of like how tall and how big and massive that thing is. We also were lucky enough that while we were, I think it was in Costa Maya, when we stopped there was a couple other ships that docked, which was funny because one of them was the ship I was on last year, which was the Dream, and the other one was the Mariner of the Sea, and then the Star of the Sea, which was the newest of that fleet, which is supposed to be like just as big as the, what is it, the, I can't think of the one, but it's that, like, that ginormous one with all the stuff on it. This thing on the front of it looked like a Navy ship. It was designed just like the front of one of those. It was so bizarre. And it was so massive that, like, for the 2 hours that it took from where we seen it on the horizon till it, like, literally ported near us, it was so massive you could see it for a long ways away. It was crazy. And as it got closer and closer, we realized, I mean, we were pretty sure it was a cruise ship, but because of the front of it, it really gave it a different look. That was really quite strange. It definitely looked like a Navy vessel for the longest time out in the distance, and then you could tell it was a cruise ship eventually, but it was really pretty. My daughter was all excited over it. She thought it was the other big boat that they put out, but it was the newest one to that one. So that was cool. Ouch. Oh my goodness. The dog went outside even though it was really cold. I know, I can't wait till some of the evidence also Mary Jane Doe comes out in that case. That was the other thing I was thinking today when I was listening to that, is I can't wait to hear about that because we've been like, it's been so many years of wondering and wondering, and we all kind of knew once it came out that they definitely had something to do with it, and they were definitely in the area and could have definitely done it. Like, we knew that. There was no doubt. But I just hope that they tell her where her baby's at, man. God, it's messed up. They really need to, because holy shit. Just, I would literally go insane if somebody took my kid and then I found out that my child was gone and they were responsible and they wouldn't even have the decency after all that heartache to even tell you where your child is. Like somebody, one of them knows something. Somebody moved him. And it's just too bad that nobody saw anything or neighbors recognized or heard anything. They must have been doing this stuff in the middle of the night to where they could have reported it sooner. You know, caught him red-handed. That would have been ideal. Ideally, we need the bastards caught immediately. Right? There's just some... makes you wish you could do things the way they did back in the early history. You know, as a neck for a neck, right? If you're gonna do something bad, it should be done to you equally. That way, it's resolved. Resolve it. Could you please? Oh gosh. It is. And now the big Halloween hype will be over and we'll be on to the turkey days coming soon. Coming soon to a kitchen near you. Sorry. That was weird. I shouldn't have said the word kitchen and soon near you because the dog doesn't come out here like it was breakfast time. You guys got 6 hours. Now go to sleep. Which dog bed are you going to pick? Paw 1, Paw 2, or Fluff 1, or Donut 1? And sometimes when they're cold, they'll lay in between the dog beds so that the dog beds become either their blanket or their pillow. It's quite funny. Goodness gracious. It is warm. I gotta get... And everybody keep their fingers crossed that some things get straightened out out there in the business world, because there's a lot of people that depend on things that are provided. And yeah, I really just want to get some positive vibes out there for that to get itself worked out, because that's got a lot of people worried. We need to focus on our country and not everyone else's. There we go. Everybody figure it out. Do that. Oh. Chapstick and lotion, you guys. That's the weather we're into now. You go from keeping things moisturized for the summer so that your skin don't dry out, but then in the wintertime you have almost the same problem. Because then now it's cold and yeah. The air's drier, which I need to get my what do you call it? Oh shit, what are they called? Humidifier. And get those out and get those running now. I had a really big one at one point and I gave it to my daughter to use because they had a little one in the house and they really desperately needed it. And I wanted to get a different style anyway. But I have some little small ones. I got one for each of the kids that sit right on. What's wrong? That's scary. Sit right on their nightstand. And so it's, they're not for a big area, but for a room. And so we have one too like that. It's like a nightstand size, but it works pretty good. It just puts moisture in the air. So when the heat's running, you're not because I'll wake up with my mouth and throat so dry. It's like, oh, this is miserable. I'm sure they just heard the cat or something animal out there on the porch. Kichi's probably going, wait a minute, you didn't make no brats today. I don't either. I don't know why. But that one night there was 2 cats, y'all. The black cat named Hichi, and then some other cat that never comes around here that I don't even know why it was here. And I didn't even realize that were both on the porch. I saw the one cat trying to porch. I'm like, get the hell out of here, right? I didn't want to getting up by my door with the dogs on the other side. And anyway, Hichi was already up there and went to run that cat off, and they got in a big old fight. The next day, I go outside when it's light out, and they had just destroyed, like made a huge mess all over the deck. There was chunks of cat hair. It was just a mess. I had to scrub my whole, like, it was just gross from them fighting. So, and then I've never seen that cat come back around here again, which is great. But yeah, I think Hichi was already like up on the porch, which he never gets up there. So it's weird that he was up there, unless he was trying to run that cat away from it. But it was just bizarre. And here I am, and it's kind of dark out, but there's lights on, and I'm just chilling. And then I hear all that fucking cat fighting, and they're doing it right outside the door where the dogs are on the other side. I'm like, oh my gosh, this cannot be happening. Are you okay, honey? You okay, big girl? They like to sit on people's laps, lap dogs. Milo, anxiety time over. There's nobody at the door. Did you open the door and look?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. He's determined there's something out there. I have nothing sitting out that anything could get anything into. The only thing that's down off the table is the plant, maybe. But there's no trash, nothing out there. Earlier, you must have put some foil in, like it was either in the trash can or it was in that bag that was sitting on the deck. And Milo, I opened the door to let him in. And what's he doing? He's got all these pieces of foil all torn up on the deck, and he's got one in his mouth. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, because there was some kind of meat taste in it.
Chicken.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, you've already had the meat that was on that. What are you doing? It amazes me the things they'll go after. Right? Well, obviously, it is now 12:35. So remember what I said about after midnight? I'll see what happens. See if anybody wants to come in and talk about anything crazy, scary, or whatever. But we'll see, right? We all have a story. I've been trying to think of, like, I just think about when we were younger and we used to play in the cemetery and play like hide and seek over there. And we thought that was like the coolest, like, we called it scary hide and seek, or not scary, but what was it called? Haunted hide and seek is what we call it, because I don't know why, because there's nothing haunted about the cemetery. But you know, when you're young, you're just like, oh, it's scary over there, whatever. Anyway, and I just remember, like, one time we were goofing around, and then, like, we were trying to move where we were hiding so we wouldn't get found. And then, like, I was running, and we ran right into this, like, tombstone. And boy, that took about wiped my ass out. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck? And so, yeah, we didn't do that after a while, because I was like, this can't be a good idea. Besides, if somebody was running over top of me when I was in my resting place, I think I'd be kind of mad too. So we
Best place to lose the cow.
Shiloh Cemetery, the one over there by Hiawatha, and that. That's where because we lived right across the street from it. So, like, I mean, when you're young and there's like not a whole lot of places to go where we lived, I remember that we would sit down there and watch when they first put the interstate in up through the northern part of it. And I was probably 11 when they were building that. And that was wild to watch from start to finish, like over all those years that it took them to build it. That's interesting. There wasn't a lot to do. I once tried to demonstrate from watching it in movies. Could you really tie sheets together and climb down them if there was a fire? I wanted to see if you could do it. Well, somebody across the street evidently thought it was a bad idea and called somebody to come check on it, because they, I guess, saw me dangling the sheets tied together out the window, or maybe even saw me attempting to try to go out of it. But either way, that didn't end well. All I'm trying to do is figure out how I could save myself if this whole building was on fire and this was the only way out, without jumping out of it and breaking all my limbs. I didn't know why they were upset with the fact that I was trying to find an escape route, right? Anyway, needless to say, I think one of my daughters at least has those same kind of crazy ideas that when she was younger, like these daredevilish things she'd come up with to do, and I'm like, oh, no wonder. That's where she got it from. I don't know if they ended up telling my mom or not. I don't remember how it all played out, but I just remember getting told about it. But yeah, when you're an only child, you're really bored. So it seemed like I spent a lot of my younger years babysitting a lot. My mom always had friends that had like multiple children, and so there was always babysitting and that. But yeah, I mean, we either went roller skating, skateboarding, bicycling, swimming, and like the YWCA had like community dances for where all schools could get together and meet new people and like have a school dance that wasn't specific to a school. It was like for open for everybody. So I mean, there was things to do, but it definitely wasn't the kind of stuff everybody's doing now. Everybody's going to have neck and back problems the rest of their lives from looking at phones and leaning forward and looking down. You can look into a whole room of people now, and everybody's looking down at a phone. Back in the day, people were looking at each other. Now everybody's looking down at something else. That's the distraction. And I believe that was the attention all along with the devices and the internet. Is why it took so long for them to show what was really available. Because until it was necessary to distract people, they didn't really need people to know about all the cool stuff, right? And now we do. And now everybody's figuring everything out. And now it just backfired. In some ways it did, in some ways it didn't, but it's interesting, to say the least. Well, I know that it's getting quite early, but we call it late, even though it's early, which is interesting, right? But I think I'm going to close out. We didn't have many takers for doing a panel tonight, but I thought I'd throw it out there and try. See if we could get anybody come in and tell us some wild stories. But if you catch this on the rewatch, you're more than welcome to leave any stories or anything you wanted to share in comments after the show or on the community page. So I appreciate everybody being here. Mary Jane Doe, Becca, Leanie stopped in. Peggy did earlier in the evening before the show started. And who else did we have? And Barbara. Donna Clark, sorry. Correction. So I really appreciate all of you ladies coming and saying hey and hanging out. And hopefully next time we can get some more people to come in and tell some stories. But hey, we can always share them even if it ain't Halloween, right? So maybe on Sunday, if there's more people in during the day live, we can catch some more of those. But y'all have a great evening, early morning, whatever. Sleep well, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.